There's a lot of superficial advice on tactics and tricks and things that you can do to be more attractive, but none of that really is long lasting or long standing, because after you get through the courtship phase, what really lasts is this deep connection that you have with the other person. And so what are the deeper things? What are the things that have more substantial aspects to them that create attraction? And so today we're going to explore 5 habits, 5 ways of being that are deeper, that are more substantial, that ignite attraction and will drive your man wild, where he will say, wow, this woman is amazing and I'm so drawn to her. The first of these 5 habits is emotional strength. Now, the woman who's developed emotional strength allows herself to feel her experiences, allows herself to feel all of her emotions. She feels really deeply. She's not guarded. She's not scared to live life. She's not holding back, but she plays full out with her heart. The downside is a lot of guys will get really attracted to women who do that, but the counter side is often that kind of person rides really big highs and really low lows because they feel so deeply. And it can become chaotic, can become crazy, and it can become wild. And so there's the rush of the high, but also the lows of the lows. While initially it's exciting, it becomes exhausting, and ultimately that relationship disintegrates. Way better is the woman who has emotional strength, which means she feels things deeply and fully. When life doesn't go her way, or when there's a challenge that comes up, or where there's stress happening, she's able to manage that stress. She's able to neutralize it. She's able to process it. She's able to have this steady, even keel. In other words, the highs get high, but the lows don't have to go so low. One of the most inspiring moments that I've ever seen of this actually comes from my mom. And my mom and I were leading this big event, and it was a 3-day motivational event called Dream Builder Live, about how to create a life that you would love. My mom's best friend, her mentor for over 20 years, his name's Bob Proctor. His health was failing. He was in his 80s, his body was giving out, and we knew he didn't have much time left. And on the morning of the event, 30 minutes from doors open, going live, she gets a phone call from Bob's family saying that Bob's passed away. I went in and gave my mom a hug, and she's got to lead the whole first day of this event. I'm hosting the event. I've got some training sessions, but really the first whole day is on her. You know, she wiped some tears from her eyes, and she's totally feeling the loss of her best friend, of her mentor. And so I asked her, I said, hey, do you want to do the backup plan where you don't have to take the lead on this day? And me and the other faculty, we teach these sections. And she took a deep breath and she goes, no, Bob would want me to teach this day. And she wiped the tears from her eyes, and she took that stage and she poured into people in a way I've never seen her pour into people. And it wasn't that she didn't feel her feelings. It wasn't that she didn't do her healing work. She did. And in that moment, she rose to the occasion. And how can I serve in this way? What am I called to do this particular day? I was so inspired by her emotional strength, by her maturity, by her willingness to do what she was called to do in that moment. And that is what we all want in a partner, is someone who has that emotional strength that they can feel and love open-hearted. And when there's grief, or when there's loss, or when there's stress, the person's emotionally strong enough to be able to handle it in that moment without creating drama or without creating chaos, but instead creating stability and ultimately creating something great. Now, the second way of being that is highly attractive is purposeful vulnerability. Now, I specifically say purposeful because at different stages in the relationship, you want to be vulnerable, you want to be open, you want to be seen, and to different degrees as the relationship progresses. And I'll explain. Purposeful vulnerability, when you're early on in the relationship, you want to let the other person see who you are. You want to let them see what is that's molded you. You want to share about your journeys and your discoveries, and sharing what's vulnerable is sharing personal things from your past that's helped make you who you are. The difference is, and this is where people get off balance in how much vulnerability they share, what you've already processed versus what you're still processing. Early in the relationship, in the courting phase, you want to share the things you've already processed, you've already learned, you've already grown from. Now, you might not be proud of it. It might be something that was embarrassing or a mistake that you made, but it's made you who you are today. Like, for example, when I was growing up and I was in my 20s, I had a major perfection paradigm. And I was so hard on myself. I had major lack of self-love, lack of self-acceptance. And what happened was I was so critical of myself that judgment just kind of spread out to other people and it pushed people away. I was terrified of showing my vulnerabilities. I was terrified of showing who I really was. And the irony was it cost me the very thing I wanted most. I thought I needed to be perfect to have connection, but really I just needed to be open to have connection. And so I went through a whole process to learn how to love myself more, how to accept the fact that I'm not perfect, how to open myself more so that I could create deep, meaningful friendships. And now I'm so happy for the friendships that I have and the relationship that I have with my wife and all of that. Something that I've already processed has helped make me who I am today. The difference is if you're still processing something, if you're still going through something and you're going to lean on this person that you're dating, when you're married, when you're committed, you can lean on them. But when you're in the courting phase, it's going to feel heavy. It's going to feel messy, and it might not be the right time to put that weight on a brand new budding relationship. Maybe later, and the two of you will be that rock for each other. But early on, it can actually sabotage the attraction. So instead, focus on the vulnerable stories of mistakes you've made, of lessons you've learned that's helped you become who you are today. Now, the third habit is your ability to create mystery, to create intrigue. Now, openness is super important in relationships. And I'm not talking about playing games, but I am saying being purposeful in creating these exciting moments that have some mystery to them. When you're brand new in a relationship, this is simply as easy as taking things slow, because that slow pace is going to create tension, because anytime we have a desire for something or someone, we want it now, we want to go fast. So that slow pace is going to create this mystery and intrigue as he gets to know you more. When you're in a committed relationship, this is as easy as planning some surprises for him. It could be as simple as sending him a text to say, hey, I have something fun planned for us tonight. Get ready. And he's anticipating whatever it is that you have planned. When you guys are going to fool around, instead of getting naked the same way you always do, create some intrigue. Go in a private place. Get dressed, put on a sexy outfit. Maybe he's never seen it before. And you come out, he's going to be surprised. He's going to be intrigued, and he's going to love that. Men love variety. Men love new experiences. So when you can combine some mystery and intrigue with a new experience, then you're going to have him hooked. And the fourth way of being that men find irresistible is the woman who's comfortable expressing her desire, not neediness. In other words, every one of us has desires. Every one of us has needs. We have a need for connection. We have a need for love. We have a need for freedom. We have a need for fun. We have a need for peace. We all have all these different needs. Having needs is not neediness. Neediness is the dependency on someone else to fulfill the needs that we have. The woman who's highly attractive is the woman who owns her worth and can communicate her desires, communicate what it is that she would love, communicate what she wants in this relationship. This woman desires her man, but she doesn't need a man. And this is a really important distinction because she's a woman of choice. She could choose him. She could choose to be by herself. She could choose somebody else. She knows how to get her needs met. It's not dependent on one person. But when she's willing to share her desires, share what she would love, and invite a man into that space to serve her, to fulfill those wants, desires, and needs, that is incredibly powerful. So the practice for how to do this is to own your worth, own the realization that you can fill up your own cup, and it's okay to speak your wants, to speak your desires, to speak those needs, and invite a man to help fulfill those with you from a place of that empowerment. And the fifth way of being is the woman who has a growth mindset. This is the woman who has the mindset that whatever skill sets that she has today, whatever her capability is today, whatever's going on in her life in terms of results today is not the limit, is not the ceiling. But she's actually connected to a presence and a power that's far greater than anything that she's facing, and that she can grow, she can improve, she can expand her life. And so she does. She reads books and she takes classes and she goes after dreams. She's in the game of life. She's improving, she's expanding. And that energy is contagious. That energy feels good because every one of us has the desire to expand. Every one of us has the desire to progress forward. When we're stagnant, when we're just in status quo energy, that's when depression sets in. That's when discouragement sets in. That's when this, isn't there anything more with this life starts to set in. But when you're growing in your spiritual connection, when you're growing in your career, when you're growing, you're taking on and say, hey, I'm going to improve my health. When you're doing that, that's contagious. And so your man's going to naturally feel expansive. You're going to inspire him because you're saying, I'm in the game of life. I'm on this field. I'm getting better and I'm going to live life to the fullest. So these are the 5 habits that men find wildly attractive: emotional strength, purposeful vulnerability, creating mystery and intrigue, expressing your desires, not neediness, and a growth mindset. Now, I'm sure that you want these same things in your man. And my question for you is, in addition to these, what are the qualities and the habits or the mindsets that you find extremely attractive in either your man that you're with right now or the man that you're calling into your life? Go ahead and post those in the comment section below. I appreciate you. Thanks for watching. Here's to your amazing love life, and I'll see you soon.